Okay, so a couple of videos back, I've tested the GTX 1660 non-super only to realize that it was pretty meh. But quite a few people in the comments suggested that it was only the 1660 like that and not the super or TI variants. So as soon as I got my hands on this 1660 super, I immediately went benchmarking. And starting off with Call of Duty Warzone, I gotta say that it managed a smooth 81.8 FPS average on 1440p balanced preset and over 110 FPS when dropped to 1080p. So we're off to a great start, guys. So let's see if this GPU manages to continue on the space or it will come crashing down. Next up was Fortnite, and even 1440p Epic with TSR on low couldn't stop me from getting 2 Ws. And no matter what settings we used, 1080p Epic with TSR on low or 1440p low or 1080p low, the performance was good. But just like I fumbled this third Fortnite game, the 1660 Super fumbled Indiana Jones by not having ray tracing. It just doesn't launch. And I'm just curious, is there a workaround on this? Cause it's a great game. Although Stalker 2 did launch, although I might have spoken a bit too soon about everything being so great, cause let's just say there were a couple of nuances. First, on 1440p natively, the leaves look like from an 80s NES game or something, so I tried FSR on quality, but then things started looking a bit blurry. So what I did next was try Intel XeSS on Ultra Quality Plus, and I crashed the graphics. It looked like seconds after an atomic explosion or something, like all yellow. But all I had to do to fix this was come back to main menu and reload the game. Then the frame rate was quite okay, just shy of 60 FPS. But for most of you, which are 1080p gamers, 1080p low natively was good, and probably you don't even need upscaling. But to be fair, I'd rather prefer to play on XeSS Ultra Quality Plus just because of the 3 leaves. They look much better. On Valorant, I have realized that we are spoiled from all of these times we have tested this game with all of these great graphics cards getting 600 plus FPS, cause look, only 186 FPS on 1440p high? What? Anyways, here are the 1080p benchmarks. You got a good look on them, Good. Now, on to Wukong, where on 1440p low and no upscaling, we almost completely drained the 1660 Super. Only 31 FPS. Come on now, dog.
Come on, man.
On 1440p low with FSR on 70%, things are looking better, but still a bit too choppy to survive all of these bosses that are in the way. 1080p low settings were a lot better, both natively and on 70% FSR resolution. But still, the settings don't have much to do with your gameplay skills. Apex, Siege, and Cyberpunk were quite uneventful, as always. Okay, we're back in the gameplay. Hopefully something interesting happens. But just throwing them in, cause why not?
Okay, Pookies, G-Bastard deadass forgot to benchmark Rainbow Six Siege, so in the meantime, follow our Insta, we upload stuff like this.
Yo guys, I accidentally bought a couple of power supplies.
Yeah, that's crazy. And let's continue with...
Forza 5 was interesting in the way that if you play on a medium settings preset or high settings preset, the FPS doesn't differ almost at all. So that's a friendly reminder to all of you to play around with the settings before playing your favorite games, because in this case, it just doesn't make sense not to play on high settings with this card. But yeah, extreme preset is a no-go on this one on 1440p and just okay on 1080p. CS2 was definitely bottlenecked by the GPU on 1080p medium and 1440p medium. So even with a faster processor, I wouldn't expect more FPS out of CS. And as for 1080p low, the max you can get is this. And Marvel Rivals proves that this GPU was not meant for 2K gaming, not because it couldn't play on 1440p low, but just because 1080p low and 1440p low was a night and day difference, cause changing the resolution from 2K to 1080p gave us a 50% FPS increase. That's actually crazy. But probably what was more crazy was the fact that Tarkov on 1440p low managed to get us a crispy smooth average of 25 FPS. Yeah, but as always with Tarkov, I started off with 1080p low and got the average of around 50. And since it's usually bottlenecked by my Ryzen 5 7600, which is usually capable of around 60 FPS even with something like an RTX 3060 or RX 6750 XT, I didn't think much of it and changed the resolution to 1440p. And damn! As you can see from the gameplay footage, 1440p is a no-go. Although this GPU was never intended for 2K gaming, even at launch, so I can't really complain here. And just so you know, with enough effort and dedication, we can actually make the 10-year-old GTA 5 run below 30 FPS using these exact settings. But this was clearly just for the laughs and giggles, cause if you drop the extra shadow stuff and reduce MSAA, the game will run over 100 FPS on very high settings with no problem. And according to 3D Mark TimeSpy, this thing is half as fast as the 3060 12GB, but it definitely felt like it was faster. So yeah, that's another fun fact. Okay, so basically, just like I made fun of the regular 1660 for being overpriced and only saved by AMD FSR, the comment section were right on that one. The 1660 Super is much better than the base model, especially for the €75 price that I bought it. I honestly didn't expect that. If they were going for this price all the time, I'd definitely suggest all budget gamers to pay more attention to it. But on the current market conditions, this card's street price is more like 100 to 110, which just kinda makes me lucky that I got that price, I guess, but at the same time, I wouldn't buy it for 100 or 110 euros, cause I'd recommend everyone to go for the RX 5700 or 5700 XT to get more for your money, plus the theoretical ray tracing support, plus 8 gigs of VRAM. But other than that, once again, I'm pleasantly surprised with the performance of the 1660 Super. And thank you so much for watching. Cheap bastard out.